Thank you for joining this training video. Unsure of where to begin on an AHP grant application? Well, don't be worried, because in this video, we will demonstrate how to initiate an application and take the next steps towards submission. All applications are initiated by the lead contact of the sponsor organization and are then approved and submitted to FHLBank for review by a member institution. Prior to beginning the application process, all organizations and contacts related to the project must be registered in AHP Online. The registration process is different for sponsor organizations and member institutions. Project sponsors should refer to the registration guide in the application section on the AHP public website. Member institutions each have a member admin who can grant specific people access to AHP Online through the members-only platform. If you have any member-related questions, please call the Member Product Administration team. To begin your application, you will log in to AHP Online. Next, you will hover over the My Applications tab and select Initiate Application. You will then be directed to the Application Information screen, where you will enter the project name and select the project type as rental or home ownership. For rental projects, you will then select one or more activity types depending on the nature of your project. For home ownership projects, you will select Consumer Driven for the Application Is drop-down and select only one activity type. Owner-occupied project sponsors may submit one application for each activity type, but it cannot be a combination of both rehabilitation and down payment assistance. You will then enter the project zip code and select Lookup to populate the remaining address information. If the project has multiple sites, you will enter the zip code for the area that the project will be serving. Once Lookup has been selected, please ensure that all information was entered correctly, then click Next. After an application has been initiated, the fields on the application information screen cannot be edited. If the wrong project or activity type was selected, a new application will need to be initiated. On the Select Lead Contact screen, you will search the sponsor's name. If you are unable to find the organization name, try searching for the first several letters of the name and search again. Once the sponsor has been identified, select the organization to continue. Sponsor contacts will populate and you must select at least one lead contact. The lead contact must be an authorized person from the sponsor organization who is responsible for completing the application and approving it for member review and submission to FHLBank. If the application is awarded, the lead contacts will be the people receiving emails regarding the project and will have the ability to submit disbursements, reports, and other monitoring reviews. Once the lead contacts have been selected, click Next. You will then be directed to the Select Input Role screen. An input contact may fill out an application on behalf of the lead contact, but cannot approve the application for submission to the member. Input contacts can be from another organization or the sponsor organization. However, this role is not mandatory, so if there are no input contacts, you can leave this screen blank and click Next to continue. If there are input contacts from another organization, you will need to make sure that this organization is registered in AHP Online before searching and selecting up to 3 input contacts. If the application is awarded, the input contacts will not have the ability to access the project post-award. Once this screen has been completed, click Next. On the Select Member screen, you will search the member's name and select the correct member institution. You will then select up to 3 member contacts. The member contact role is for authorized users of the member who are responsible for approving the applications that the member is associated with. These contacts cannot make edits to the application, but can send the application back to the sponsor for revision. Once this screen has been completed, click Next. On the Review and Submit screen, you will double-check all of the information that has been entered so far. This is the last screen where changes can be made to the information entered, or a new application will need to be initiated. If everything is correct, you will click Submit and will be directed to the confirmation screen. To complete the application initiation process, you must select Finish. All steps of the initiation process must be completed in one setting so that the application is saved once the Finish button is selected. Now that the initiation process has been completed, we will now direct you on the next steps towards completing the rest of the application. Once the application has been initiated, you will see it when you log into AHP Online, showing a status of pending, which means the application has been initiated but not yet completed. A sponsor-approved status would mean that the application has been completed and submitted to the member for final approval. A member-approved status indicates that the member has completed the member involvement screens and approved the application for FHLBank review. To continue completing the application, you will click on the application number, which will direct you to the application home screen. The best way to complete the application is to fill out the screens in the order that they appear, since some tabs are reliant on information entered on previous screens. You will start with the general information screens. These screens are very straightforward and are covered in the AHP Application User Guide on the AHP public website. Please refer to the video for the site selection screen for additional information. For the scoring and feasibility sections, there will be live webinars and additional videos offered by FHLBank, which will be available on the AHP public website. Once all screens have been completed and are showing a green check mark, the lead contact can submit the application to the member for final approval and submission to FHLBank. We hope that you now feel confident in initiating an AHP application. We encourage you to utilize the AHP Application User Guide on our public website, as it expands on the information provided in this video. We appreciate your time joining us.